If you are ready to charge higher rates for your virtual assistant services, you're in the right place, because in this video, I'm gonna help you figure out how you can actually raise your rates without losing clients. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm Erin. I talk all about more money, less burnout. And this week we're talking about how to negotiate for higher rates as a virtual assistant. There may come a time when you hit your peak income. You basically have worked as many hours as you could possibly work. You cannot take on more clients, or you feel like you're charging the most hourly rate you possibly can. I'm here to tell you, do not doubt yourself. You can always go higher. Now, before you even broach the subject with your clients, you need to arm yourself with some data. So the first thing you need to do is actually track your time. There are a couple different tools out there like Harvest or Toggle. Both are very good. Both have free options. But it's crucial to actually track your time for a number of different reasons. The most important, I think, is scope creep. We as people, I think, are very bad about actually telling time, gauging how much time we spend working on a project. So let's pretend that a client only hires you for 20 hours of service a month. If you are charging them $2,000 for those 20 hours, that's great. But when you start tracking your time, you might find out that you're actually working 30 to 40 hours a month for them. And if you're still charging $2,000, then you are drastically undercharging what you're worth. And if that sounds kind of ludicrous, that actually does happen to people quite often. You just don't realize the email here or the phone call there or the minor email or project that you have to do for them late at night. Whatever it is, those minutes add up. And oftentimes they can put you over the contractual edge. So make sure you're tracking to make sure that you're not actually putting in more work but not charging for those additional hours. The second reason it's so great to actually track your time is it can help you increase your productivity. Looking back at your own data can be very powerful because you might be able to see inefficiencies throughout the week. So let's say on a Friday afternoon, you take a look at your workflow and you see that you're actually a lot faster and you do better brain work in the morning. That might help you differentiate when you want to work on certain tasks. So maybe you work on travel or things that require a lot of attention early in the morning, and maybe you work on calendaring in the afternoon. Something like that can be very powerful because if you work a lot slower in the afternoon or vice versa, you have down periods of time and you're able to see that, in the morning you were able to jet through a lot of work in an hour, but in the afternoon it took you 4 hours to book a similar flight. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm not explaining this well. It is easy to see if there are times in which you work better, and you can do that by visually tracking your own time. So for those two reasons alone, I think it's pretty crucial that you actually start tracking your time before you ever go into any negotiations with your client. Now, while you're tracking, it's also pretty crucial to find what I like to call find the holes in your service and upsell your client. And I'll give you an example. A client of mine on his own personal side of things, not the business end, but personally, had a home that he listed on Airbnb. And he was getting semi-regular bookings, but eventually, as I was tracking my time and looking actively for holes in my services for him, I thought to myself, well, he's got this house, he's trying to market it, it's not going that well, maybe I can help him. So I wrote him an email one day and I said, hey, I know you've got this house that you want to try to rent out more regularly. I can help you make a free website on something like Wix if you send me photos of your home, and I can also help you market the home semi-regularly. I can put it on social media for you. I can respond to inquiries faster. There are a number of different things that I knew I could do for him as a separate service. And much to my happiness, he agreed. He thought it was a great idea. So we actually renegotiated how many hours per month I would work for him, and I added some of those additional services. Now that, my friends, is a twofold bonus. Number one, you see a hole in a service that you could be offering. Number two, you upsell them. Your client says yes, and you are thus now making more money from working more hours with this person. Number three, major bonus, it's a new skill for you. So while you're learning new skills like social media management or Airbnb management, you can actually go to other clients if they have similar needs and say, look what I did for this client. I made them a website and I helped take their business tenfold, and they're booked 10 nights a week now instead of 2. I can do the same thing for you. And it's a great way for you to upsell your clients on a new skill that you learned while on the job. So those are my quick tips for you this week. Very quick and yet very actionable. Track your time, make sure that you're avoiding the scope creep. Make sure completely that you are only working the hours that you said you were going to work, and track your hours to make sure you're working to the best of your own productive ability. And secondly, find the holes in your services. Find where there's something lacking, a gap that maybe your client needs and that you just haven't thought about offering them before, and then upsell them on that gap. Those 2 ways alone are great ways to either add more time to your monthly commitment with them, or bonus tip, if you don't have necessarily more time to give, what you can do is actually renegotiate a higher rate per hour. For example, if right now you're charging $20 an hour to do general services, and you say to them, I know you have this Airbnb house, I can be a remote site manager and help you market that house, and I'll do that for you at $25 or $30 an hour. That's a great way for you to actually make more money without necessarily increasing more time with your client. Just something to think about. It can be very handy. It does take some time, some homework, some research on your part. So before you do anything with your clients, make sure you're tracking your time and you're actively looking for gaps in your services. If you've renegotiated rates successfully before with your clients, share a comment below. Share what worked, share what didn't, maybe share how you went about doing it, because there's certainly no one right way to do this. And I'm really curious to hear how you've renegotiated your rates too. Thank you so much for watching this week, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.